Ocala's information station, 1370 WOCA. Ocala.
8 minutes after 9 o'clock. Nice looking Halloween morning. Right, Robin?
Oh, it's beautiful out there. Can't wait.
Michael Marks DiMartino is in the studio. He's the president of the Ocala Lions Club. He's also a spokesperson for the Ocala Lions Club Kidsight program, which is what we're going to focus on today. And he brought with him his very, very pretty daughter, Mimi Marks DiMartino. So, Mimi and Michael, good morning to both of you.
Good morning, Larry.
Thank you for coming in here. I love what the Lions Club does.
Well, thank you. I'm pretty proud of it, too. As a matter of fact, I only joined about 3 years ago and have gotten really involved, and I just enjoy the heck out of it.
Is that right? Robin and I have help out people with the literacy issues, those who can't read, and can you imagine a child can't read because he can't see?
Absolutely.
And the family can't afford glasses, so you guys are really, really providing something that, it's almost taken for granted.
Right.
That we can get glasses, but not everybody can. So
absolutely.
It's amazing what you do.
In fact, one of our members, my mentor, Bob Ward, who is a principal here in town, has an associate that is probably about 40 now that evidently when he was a kid couldn't afford glasses, and the Lions provided it to him, and now he's kind of a self-made millionaire, and he says, if you ever need any help, well, get a hold of me, and no problem, we'll get some glasses going. So,
is that right? It's just this tiniest little thing, isn't it? Just these little thing called spectacles,
it is, isn't it?
And the children can read.
Tell me about it. I started wearing glasses, I guess, about 5 years ago, and man, it just starts going quicker and quicker and quicker. So
I hate to admit that. That's true. It's true. Yeah, but can you imagine as a child? My own son, before we knew that he needed glasses, my own son was trying to read something on TV, and he said, "You think they would make it focus? Why do they keep it so out of focus?" And I said, you can't see that?
Right.
And that's when I said, okay, we've got to go see an eye doctor, which he didn't want.
Sure.
But it made all the difference in the world.
Absolutely.
But I was fortunate, as far as I was blessed in that way. I could get him glasses, and that's not true for everybody, right?
Right.
Mimi, are you a lion?
Yes.
A lioness.
Yes.
Lioness. Well, pull that microphone closer to yourself.
She's actually the youngest member of our club.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Wow. And are you based out of Ocala? Joe said something about Morriston.
Yeah, we actually live over in Morriston.
Okay.
I have a little ranch out there.
I'm familiar with Morriston. I used to live in Rainbow Lakes Estates.
Oh, sure. It's a nice area.
And back in those days, there wasn't a whole lot for a young guy in Ocala. So I would go to Gainesville, and of course Morriston was the Jiffy Stop.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Absolutely.
So is that what you do with the Lions Club? You help out with the eyeglass program?
Yes.
Or everything?
Everything. Yeah.
It's like I've got a secret kind of answers, right?
Yeah.
It's like when the panel asks a question and I got a secret. You're way too young to remember that. But.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe a little
But at
bit.
home, she's a little bit more vocal.
I bet. Yeah, it's the microphone and all that.
Yeah, of course.
And more.
Do you wear glasses, Mimi?
No.
No, you don't.
I probably should.
Oh, really?
I think.
Did your dad know that before now?
I think so. That's news to me.
This eye's blurry. My left eye is blurry.
Oh.
You learned something on the show.
Well, it's time to get her tested.
Well, Mimi, I know a guy who helps out young people with vision issues.
Oh.
Yeah,
who?
the guy sitting right next to your daddy. Your daddy right there.
That's most incredible because we've been on the Ocala Lions Club website, and the picture on there really says everything. You've got two people making goofy faces at the child so they can look up, and then you have a gentleman sitting there with it looks like a radar gun or something. What is that?
And that's the machine that we use for the Kidsight program, and it does look like a radar gun. What it does is actually take a picture of the child's corneas, pupils, and then gives a report through its software. It can tell whether they have any signs of amblyopia, which is also known as lazy eye. Unfortunately, when caught after the age of 6, there's not too much that can be done about it. Before the age of 6, it's totally correctable. But untreated, it can lead to blindness in later years.
We have a doctor who comes on now and then, an eye doctor, Dr. Lang. I don't know if you know him. And he will often say that the school screening for eye issues is only surface level. There's so many other things that might not be picked up in that screening, and he's always complimentary of what the Lions Club does. It kind of supplements what the schools are doing. When you have those mobile things where you guys set up somewhere like at a public event or something. So I'm sure that all eye doctors are in agreement with that you kind of help out directing the children to see an eye doctor if necessary.
Exactly. Yeah. When it comes up with a referral, that gets sent to the up to the university where we're in partnership, and then they go ahead and set up an actual exam.
So how did you get involved in the Lions Club in the first place?
Well, it was actually Bob Ward, the person I mentioned before, who got me into it when we first moved back here to help take care of my in-laws. My father-in-law was a lion, and he kept asking me to join, and I just said, I'm too busy. I was starting our little ranch raising horses and so on and so forth, so I was just too busy, and unfortunately he passed away, and so he never knew that I was a lion, but Bob, his best friend, asked me to join, and I went and actually just went to see what a meeting was about, and I enjoyed it so much that I got involved. That was about 3 years ago, and now I'm the president.
Our involvement with the Lions Club, we're not Lions, but Robin and I have done radio forever, and we had a public service announcement sent to us by the Florida Center for the Blind.
Right.
And they were talking about somebody got promoted to tail twister. And I said, what the heck is a tail twister?
Yeah.
So I called up the Center for the Blind. Marilyn Womble at the time was in charge. And I asked her, and her reply to me was, you mean you actually read those things on the air?
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, I read them on the air. And then so we went over to, we developed a friendship from that point on, went over to visit, and actually started reading the local newspaper because it was the one thing that wasn't available as an audio product. And it was a big, because at the time you had to use cassettes.
Sure.
Every day.
Sure.
But we got to meet a lot of the people from the Lions Club, and we realized the close relationship you had with the visually impaired, whether it's for eye exams or eyeglasses.
Absolutely.
Or anything in the way. Don't take your time. Mimi, how did you get involved with the Lions Club?
My dad.
Dad?
Yeah.
He said you got to join the Lions Club?
Yeah, and I like it. I'm the youngest there, I think, right?
Yeah,
Yes, I'm the
youngest
youngest, but I love all of them. They're funny.
And that's really wonderful because you're such a role model. There are a lot of service clubs in schools, and sometimes those service clubs forget about this issue, and you're in a prime situation right now where you can have have other students help and bring awareness to this campaign.
So how do we help you with what you're trying to do? Let's see, the program again is called the Lions Club Kidsight Program. How can we help?
Right. Well, we offer it to preschools and daycare centers, and they can contact me by email at president@ocalalionsclub.org, and that'll then come to my direct email, and I can get back with them and try to set up some screenings. Yeah.
And that's it, huh?
And that's it.
Just
That's all it
set it up?
takes. It's free of charge.
And is there an age limit? Is it
1 to 5.
1 to 5?
1 to
Okay.
5.
Okay.
So you would bring your vision screening vehicle to each preschool?
Well, the equipment, the Kidsight program is actually a little different than our screening van, but we'd actually bring the equipment, and what we need is a room that we can dim the lights in a little bit, and go ahead and do the screenings. Yeah.
And then the preschool would post something on the board or send a note home with the child so the parents can give their permission
Right,
to
exactly.
do this.
We have forms that we would deliver to the preschool, and they send home with the kids that have them filled out and brought back. Yeah.
And I wonder how many parents, and I'll plead guilty to this, when I was a young parent, it just was one thing that just never occurred to me. You assume somebody can see well.
Right.
And you don't always know. And like I say, those screening things, and if it's 1 to 5, they're not even subjected to those charts yet. That big E thing and all that. Why is it always big E, by the way? It's just, can you read the first line? It's E. I don't even have to look at it.
I have no idea.
It's always an E, right?
How do you get the students to cooperate? Because they're usually shy, and it takes a talent to have them look in the direction that you need them to
Well,
look.
it's sort of like you explained the pictures that you saw on the website. Most of the kids do seem to respond to, okay, there's a little smiley face on that radar gun. It also makes some sounds, some little squeaky sounds. But every now and again, you'll get one child that just plain won't sit still, and they've got to sit still at least for 1 second just to capture that picture. And so in that case, we'll get one of the other members behind us, making signs and faces and so on and so forth. And that's pretty much how we do it. We've been pretty lucky so far. We've managed to get everybody screened.
Joe was telling me you raise Clydesdales?
Yes, I do.
Is that right? Is it a business? Is it just for fun?
So to speak. I'm actually a retired prop man from California, and moved
prop
back here
man, as in movies?
Television.
Okay,
member
okay.
of Local 33, which is we had jurisdiction over television and legitimate theater.
What kind of props did you supply and
Well,
to what television
I've done
show?
soap operas. I was with Carson for 4 or 5 years.
Really?
The last thing I did was Price is Right for the last 10 years, and I enjoyed that just because it was such a great schedule. But anyway, we moved back here to help take care of my in-laws. My father-in-law, like I say, had Alzheimer's. And when we were getting ready to move, my wife said, well, you've wanted to get out of the studios for years. If we move back there, you can stay home and raise horses. And I went, yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
And so now we have this little farm in Morriston. We've got about 10 Clydesdales. We actually have a camel. We have some mini donkeys.
Let me ask you
and a bunch of
something.
dogs.
When you raise that kind of an animal,
Yeah.
especially now that you've told us about the camels,
Sure.
you're still in the prop business, aren't you? You still have calls from Hollywood or from commercial makers or any
Yeah, not really.
photographers? Nobody?
Some photographers.
Now they
and things,
will.
Yeah.
Now they will. Now they'll
Yeah,
say, hey,
they
you got a
might.
Clydesdale.
Exactly. You might.
Especially in the winter. It seems like Clydesdales and winter go together, don't they?
They do. They do.
Don't know why. Even though it's Morriston, Florida.
That's right.
Which hardly gets a winter.
Although it gets pretty cold in Morriston at times,
Yeah,
I must say. But
well, and connecting that to your TV experience,
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, vision is important if you're going to
oh,
be
absolutely.
watching a visual product.
And it's not just about the vision, because if a person can't see well, they might get frustrated when they do their bank books,
Right.
when they want to contribute to like the homecoming games or the homecoming dance. If you can't see well, whatever it is, whatever kind of activity you're doing, you're not going to excel at that.
I think just involvement in daily life is a challenge.
And
It's
I'm
a
just
challenge.
repeating something Dr. Lang has told us, that it's often a misdiagnosed issue. They often say it's ADD or dyslexia or
Correct.
something like that, and all it really is a vision problem.
Right.
Yeah, because you put yourself in that position, attention deficit. Well, if you can't read it, of course it's not going to have your attention.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so it makes a lot of sense. How many children do you suppose in the course of a month or a year or whatever, however you want to decide, actually are screened and said, wow, you need some help, and then they get the help because of what you're doing?
Well, I did a screening, about 3 weeks ago, and out of, I would say, 40, 50 kids that came through, we actually had 2 or 3 referrals.
Really?
Which is a pretty high, significant
That is.
number when you think about it. And so they'll go ahead and follow up and get tested by an ophthalmologist and see where we're going. So, I mean, it is possible that we've really helped some people.
Sometimes parents are embarrassed because they're not in a certain income level, and that will not want them to bring their child to a Lions Club screening like that, because they're proud and they want to be able to supply to their children. But what do you say to those parents?
I would say just forget the pride and come in and get the help that your child needs.
Easier said than done, right?
And you also supply glasses, though, right?
Yes, we do.
To the people,
Yes, we do.
if
Correct.
they need them.
We do this show live. I guess you can tell that. Let's go to the phone and see what our listeners have on their mind. Good morning. Thank you for calling. You're on the air.
Hey, this is Bruce. I've been a Lion for 55 years. Started out in the Ocala Club 55 years ago, and we started the Silver Springs Lions Club. Now, what I'd like to say is that I've been site chairman for just about 50 years, and some of the people that we contacted, one example, old man came to us and he said, I have cataracts on my eyes, I can't see, I can't work anymore. And I said, well, we'll see what we can do. So we agreed to go ahead and do something with it, and then we went to the foundation, the Lions Florida Foundation. They got the money, operated on the old man, and I was, to my surprise, he came to the office all dressed up, new pair of glasses on, and he told me, he says, you know what, I want to thank you. And I said, don't thank me, thank the Lions. Thank the Lions for what they have done in the operation. He says, well, I wanted to tell you that I want to thank you, and now I have a job working as a night watchman. Isn't that a beautiful
Wow,
story?
that is an awesome story.
That
Yeah.
gives me chills.
Okay, I'm going to hang up now.
Thank you, Bruce. By the way, you have something in common with the gentleman who called. That's Bruce Mozart.
Bruce, I thought it was Bruce.
Do you know
Mozart.
Bruce?
Yeah, I recognize
Yeah,
Bruce.
he's world-renowned.
And another career as a photographer where vision obviously is very important.
Right, and he did a lot of underwater stuff.
A lot of
Yeah.
underwater.
Which also ties in with me. I also had a scuba shop for about 4 years or so.
Oh, really?
Oh, wow.
teaching.
So
Yeah.
Florida was a natural choice for you, wasn't it?
It was. Although since we've moved back, I haven't done any diving here. I've been so busy doing everything else, you know.
Raising horses and
Raising
helping
horses.
children with their eyesight.
Right. Exactly.
Sometimes horses will motivate people. They'll motivate people to read. I know there's a lot of literacy projects out here in our community. The Black Stallion Literacy Project is one where the students will actually be able to be hands-on with a horse, go for rides,
Right.
and then get a book at the end. So this is really very incentive-wise of you to do this, to help a child read, because if that child wants to be a horse rider, they have to know all the ways to do the horse, to take control of it, or even an astronaut or something. They have to learn how to read to find out more about it.
Right. Absolutely.
So maybe what's your path? What do you want to be doing in, let's say, 10 years?
Well, I just passed my cosmetology test.
Oh, okay.
So I want to do hair, and I think I'm going to do like an apprenticeship, and it's for like 10 months. So
Apprenticeship with who?
it's called Envy Salon.
Okay.
Oh, we know that salon, yeah.
And I mean, I still have to apply and everything, but I'm hoping to get that.
Okay. All right. Well, that sounds good. And is Envy a local one? Is that?
Yeah, it's downtown. I think it's right beside the Starbucks.
Yeah, the Marion Theater.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay. And
Yeah.
I think we know the dad of one of the young ladies there, right?
Yeah.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah,
okay,
we do.
he actually serves in Iraq as like a private contractor.
Oh.
Yeah.
Right? Am I thinking of the right guy?
Yeah.
Russ, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, good. I mean, you're going to be contributing to the world. And you know what? And if guys don't have eyes, we can't look at pretty girls.
Exactly.
So we have to have that vision working as best as we can.
When the students come to you and then you check your eyes, their eyes like that with the radar gun, do you also go and have them look at pictures in a book to check for color blindness?
No, not with this particular screening. No, this is just for the amblyopia.
Oh, okay.
And the amblyopia, again, is a pupil issue?
Well, yes, it's what they call lazy eye. So a weakness of one of the eyes.
Yeah.
And once again, that can lead to blindness in older age.
And is it blindness because of lack of use? I didn't quite understand
I believe lack of use, yeah.
Because
I'm just now starting to really find all the information out about Kidsight. As a matter of fact, we had a little switch up in the club, and so I've just taken over the program recently, even though I've been doing some screenings and such. So I'm still learning all the finite points. Yeah.
So who we really want to reach today, it sounds like, are the people who either have children in like daycare centers or the people who run the daycare centers, and have them somehow contact you and then set up for you to kind of set up for the screenings and I guess send out an announcement to all the parents that, look, we're going to do this and...
Absolutely. Right? I believe the best bet would be for parents to contact their facilities, their daycare centers, so on and so forth, and urge them to go ahead and set up a screening for the entire organization or student population.
Yeah, I would imagine that is the best way to do it, yeah. And of course, the other alternative would be to go to an eye doctor.
Yes.
But as we've mentioned a few times, well, how much does it cost the center, like the daycare center?
Well, it's free.
It's free.
Okay.
I thought I knew that.
It's free.
I was pretty sure I knew that already,
Right.
but I wanted to make sure they knew that.
Right.
And of course, that's a lot cheaper than going to a doctor.
Absolutely.
No offense against the doctors,
No.
but it's a good way to get that screening done, and from there you can explore your options as to whether you want to apply for some kind of aid or something.
Absolutely.
And or go to a doctor. Let's go back to the phone. Good morning. Thank you for calling. You're on there with Michael and Mimi.
Yes, good morning, folks. Where can we drop off our unused eyeglasses?
Oh, okay. There's a bunch of centers around town, but the one that I can tell you right off the top of my head is over at the Ocala Elks Club.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, right at the Elks there. There's a box right in the front lobby.
Very good. You know if they are open on Saturdays?
Yes, I believe they are.
Very good. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye now.
And you know, there's another place. There's like a yellow, looks like an old mailbox, out in front of Kmart.
Yes.
Yeah.
I remember seeing that over there. This came out over here, and it's still open. And they have a Nathan's in there, by the way.
Yes, they
If you
do.
like Nathan's hot dogs, they got them in there.
Oh my goodness.
You gave us an interesting backstory about your last name.
Oh,
That was fascinating, I thought.
Martino. Well,
Yes.
Well, it's as I tell this story a lot. Actually, I was the DiMartino and she was the Marks, and we were both about.
She meaning your wife?
About my wife, yes, Libby. We were both about 36, and she was already a professional nurse practitioner. And so I said when we got married, I said, "Now you'll take my name, right?" And she goes, "Yeah, and you'll take mine too." And I
Wow.
said, "Okay."
Tough woman,
so
huh?
I did. Yeah, she was tough.
You got a tough mama.
But I'll tell you, she's well worth it. She's well worth it. I've been so blessed.
Well, that's a great compromise. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's another reason that children should have their eyes screened, because they need to know how to write their name. They need to know their letters.
Well, and if they have to write a long one like Mark DiMartino, it's it's a
I
jillian.
learned my alphabet quick.
That was true.
I
Yeah.
bet you did.
Wow. So what happens, Mimi, when you get married? Are you going to do the same thing?
I don't know.
What if you marry a guy named, with a real long last name,
No,
You have to attach that to Mark DiMartino.
I don't know. I kind of like my last name.
Oh,
Might hold on to it.
Oh, you're going to be the strong woman, too. You're going to make him say, all right, I'll give up my name, right? You'll have another Mark DiMartino in the family, Michael.
What is one of your most favorite memories of when you were screening the children?
Oh gosh. Well, I think it was one of the first screenings I did, and it was actually up with. It was when we were training, and it was up in Gainesville with the person that deals with the college up there. And there was this little boy that it was one of those deals where it was really hard to get him screened. And I mean, he was so hyperactive. We could not get him to sit still. And it just took so long, but it got to the point where I was laughing because, I mean, that kid was just so funny. No matter any type of distraction would take him off.
Sounds like it, yeah. And did he pass the?
We finally got him done, and he did pass.
He passed. Yeah. And most of them do, but once in a while you find one who needs help, and thank goodness when you do.
Absolutely. Like I say, they estimate in 1 in 20.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh my
let's
gosh.
see. Do we have a website we can leave the listeners with, or is it better to contact you by phone?
Well, I think the email number is the best. That's president@ocalalions.org.
Okay,
And
president.
then what that will do is in turn come to my personal email. Yeah.
president@ocalalions.org.
Correct.
And Mimi, does that make you the first daughter?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Everything the president has associated with him is the first. His wife is the first lady. His airplane is Air Force One, and the dog is the first dog, right? I've often wondered about leftovers. Is it the first seconds? or like when you go for a second helping of something, is it the first seconds?
It could be the first second or the second first.
You two are a delight. You've brightened
you.
up our morning. Thank you for coming in, and thank you for what you're doing for the children. I think that's awesome.
Thank you, Larry.
Thank you.
Mimi, you are a role model for everybody who knows you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And Michael, so are you, as a matter of fact.
Thank you.
Thank you both of you.
personality.
We'll take a little break, and we'll be right back.
Digital Graphics Reborn. Phoenix Graphics. When you need vehicle graphics, banners, t-shirts, window graphics, you need to call Phoenix Graphics at 368-2404. When you need building signs, vehicle wraps, yard signs, realty signs, business cards, you need to call 368-2404.